Does Renfamous have a nose for cocaine? Let's just be honest here. Come on, who doesn't? Censorship is an adult telling another adult what papers they may read, what words they may speak, what art they may produce. Do you believe in free expression? If you do, then it applies even to people and views that you find abhorrent. It means that you get to speak out, but you're also going to have to hear views that you disagree with, which isn't a problem because you're free to rebut their argument. There is no way to guarantee that you won't be offended. The best you can hope for is the right to offer a counter view. If you don't believe in free expression, who do you trust to be your master? Why would an adult grant another adult the power to punish them for their expression? Aren't you the best judge of what words you may speak? There are people on Twitter publicly threatening to not do business with Dynamite. Fair enough. But they're also urging others not to do business with them. Wow, this Cecil guy must be a monster. What has he done? Well, he's part of a loose association of people who are mostly right of center, who are sick of the far left-wing hatred that is so prevalent in comics. So they started making YouTube videos that lampoon these SJW comics. One guy blew up. One, diversity in comics. The mainstream comics mafia lost their minds. They've never been in a position where their narrative was scrutinized. They lashed out as if Myers was challenging their worldview. They panicked. Their response was all out of proportion to Zach's very mild criticism. Zach was telling his audience that the Emperor had no clothes. I suspect the comic pros were scared because they knew that sales weren't great, and they also knew that they were a far-left group that was intolerant of diverse perspectives. Most of them aren't dumb. They're mostly brainwashed. They can't emphasize with other people's perspectives because when you're as far-left as they are, their beliefs are a house of cards. But they never sat down to examine their beliefs and ask, well, what would need to be true to disprove my ideology? Daily reminder, CG is a mix of black, white, gay, straight, trans, male, female, brown, Asian, disabled, able, Christian, Jew, Muslim, atheist, pagan. Pagan? Right, center, left wing, people working and playing together just fine. Remember that. There's a lot of people who are coming in these comments and they're saying, you know, listen, we're multi-ethnic, we're mixed race, we're gay, we're bi. There's even a few trans people in CG. One of them has a channel. I think she actually detransitioned, is now growing a beard. Very interesting. Autistic, which is like on the super smart side of autism, but they don't always know when you're being sarcastic. So you got to be very. Anyway, the point is, CG is not what they say it is. I had a video out, I don't know, a while ago where I said, Comicsgate's not a bunch of Nazis. It's just a bunch of some people who are assholes. That's all it is. The funny thing is, Cecil is on the left, but he's a liberal, not a leftist. When new facts come to light that counter a prior understanding, he changes worldview. It requires a fair amount of confidence and honesty to do that. But that's what a liberal was, someone who was absolutely pro-free expression because they are the best person to judge what concepts are not only the best, but deserve to be debated. Why would an intelligent person grant another person the right to censor them? I keep asking that question on Twitter and I have yet to get an answer. Free expression doesn't mean the heckler's veto. That's what SJWs do. They want to silence you. Liberty means listening to someone's point of view, then responding. It's the only way to maximize personal liberty and respect diversity of thought. If you shout someone down, then you are violating their agency and you are exerting control over them. You have become their master, telling them that you must approve ideas before they are allowed to receive them. Liberals and leftists always had a schism, but it became noticeable after the 90s because until then people were too familiar with the horrors of communism. I was stalling. I was trying to remember her name. I think it's Theron Gale. I think Mark Twain had a quote about denying a man a steak because a baby couldn't eat it, which is a pretty solid way to describe SJWs. They are the worst people on earth because most of them actually mean well. They want social cohesion. They just want people to be nice to each other. But words aren't violence. People aren't nice. There are monsters. Monsters need to be discussed. And hey, maybe we were wrong about the monsters, but we won't know until we discuss it. People who would censor you are basically saying, sources? You don't need sources. Just trust me, bro. Was that Treasure the Sierra Madre? I love Humphrey Bogart. EVS, Vox Day, Mark Wade are Nazis. Well, do you have any evidence to support that claim? Oh, it's widely known in the community. That means, careful, you're on shaky ground there, Donald DeLay. Well, I still need to see evidence. You know, extraordinary claims require much more evidence than if you just said that, well, they're well-hung, handsome guys. There are no consequences for that other than more dates. But when you defame somebody, you're injuring their character, their standing in the community, their future business prospects. You might even put them in danger, as Edwin Boya at Peter Samiti found out. They were swatted. There is a certain percentage of SJWs who are dangerous, cowardly sociopaths. They won't kill you. They'll try to get someone else to do it for them. Cecil is love. Cecil is life. There's a lot of smart asses in this thing. Yeah, be sure to check out Indiegogo. I'll put the link below. SJWs are only scared of people further to the left of them. Once the group reaches a consensus, they will never go against the herd. Even Stephen King bent over when he got mobbed on Twitter, which is a bit odd because he's got FU money. He's got FU money on top of FU money. And he bent over. People panic when the mob comes for them. You know, you gotta remember that social media is like only 20 years old and we're still adjusting to it. People on Twitter are refusing to do business with Dynamite because some people in Comicsgate are offensive, myself included. Comicsgate is about 100,000 people. Do you expect a monolith? These are the same people who would lose their minds if you applied the same reasoning to any other group. They are the first to say, oh yeah, Mao, Stalin, Pol Pot, Papa Doc, Fidel Castro, well, they may have done some bad things, but they had good ideas. The people Zach was arguing with wished he was murdered in Afghanistan. They threatened his kids, him, and his wife. Zach called a dumb whore a dumb whore. It was a two-way street. Mags Visaccio, Heather Antos, Michelle Perez, Joe Glass, who blocked me, dished out hatred. Then they got some back. Now, to be completely fair and accurate, I have also seen some weird issues with censorship within Comicsgate itself, which is somewhat concerning. There was a Comicsgate show the other night where they were laughing at MAGA 7 by, what's his name? Mike Miller, not Mark Miller, getting shadow banned by Indiegogo. And then John Malin, they found out he got kicked off MailChimp because John Malin's part of a right-wing death cult called Comicsgate. So they laughed at Miller, his financial suffering, getting censored and shadow banned, but it was something else when John Malin was getting censored. I don't think either one of them should get censored. And to laugh at somebody's just trying to do the same thing, exact same thing you're doing, it's kind of weird. And then they defended George Soros. Anyway, my point is, we should all stand up against censorship. If Mark Wade was getting censored, I would make a video about it, speaking out about it, defending him. Because either you believe in principles or you don't. Otherwise, you believe in cronyism for your tribe and not for anyone else's tribe. To check out, I can't remember his name, Mike Miller's MAGA 7. Go to maga7.com. Check out EVS's Cyberfrog. Cecil's got two things out. He's got his main book is in demand, and he's got this thing going on. Everyone's got a book out. There's no need to like put each other down to raise yourself up. That's just a weird thing. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, click the links below. But check out all these other books, and you know, like you don't have to take sides. You can just buy what you want to buy. Anyway, I will see you all next episode.